So will the CPD respond to the RNC's request for changes before 2024? Well, let's ask former TV news anchor turned Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake. Kari, do you think anything's going to happen? What's the motivation for this commission to change anything? They like it as it is.
Well, they're not going to have ratings if the Republican candidate doesn't show up. It's not going to be much of a debate, right?
Right. No, you're right. But when you look at CNN, their ratings are tanking this year too, and they aren't changing their messaging. So do you think there is any pull there still?
Well, I think what we'd like to see as Americans in a debate is a debate where you're listening to the two candidates and saying, which one do I want to vote for? And perhaps one of them changes your mind on an issue. Now you're just getting, it's almost like a Hunger Games where all the Democrats, and I'm talking about the moderators as well, who are very biased, gang up on the GOP candidate. So I don't blame Ronna at all. We've got basically, instead of questions, we've got a series of biased questions, gotcha questions, and hit jobs done to bring down the GOP candidate. And I don't think they should show up. Can you imagine if it were the other way and right before an election, say October, we had a big, tight election? Would the Democrats ever show up if Sean Hannity or somebody who was obviously biased to the right was doing the questions, was asking the questions? I don't think they would show up.
You're right, and it's unbelievable what they've been able to accomplish even with social media now, because they aren't allowing public debate anymore, even on those forums. If you're a Republican, if you want to talk election integrity, if you want to talk the origins of the coronavirus, they're banning. So big tech and big media right now, they really don't want that debate, and that's why you left media, right?
Well, I did. The bias just got to the point where there was no undoing it. There was no fixing it. Journalism was truly dying. And I think, and you talked about Brian Stelter, who I can't believe we're still even listening to. Is he being forced on people still at CNN? That he's talking about putting taxpayer money into reviving a dead product. Activists have taken over journalism. They've destroyed the product. And now they want to take taxpayer money to try to revive this, to bring it back to life. Local journalism has not done a very good job. I worked in local journalism for all of my career, most recently 22 years at one station. And all of media during COVID did such a disservice to the community and frankly to America. Rather than trying to help people understand the virus, make educated decisions for themselves, their health, and their family, the media tried to scare people. They tried to make the situation worse, and they tried to sway what our elected officials were doing. Their scare tactics, the sky is falling coverage made politicians panic and push really severe mandates that I think not only hurt our economy, but probably maybe hurt lives, because we were not getting information on treatments that were working. Media wasn't putting that out, and God forbid you tried to put something on your social media. You tried to be responsible and say, you know what, I want you to hear about this doctor who's having some luck with a certain treatment. Then you're banned, and then you're censored.
How is your campaigning? You decided to run for governor, which is such an interesting move. You know how media covers campaigns probably better than anyone. How are you doing your messaging, trying to get around big media and big tech as a former media personality?
Well, I just announced a few days ago, so today is really the first day I'm doing a lot of media. I talked to Larry Elder yesterday, and I'm getting the message out through social media right now and through my webpage. And you know what I'm doing? I'm actually kind of going the old-fashioned route. I'm going out and talking to voters. And I have, I think, a real benefit in this election in that I know the people of Arizona better than anybody else who's running. I've been covering this state for 27 years. I have been invited into Arizonans' homes, literally and on TV. I've talked to Arizonans on their best day, say when they open a new business or something wonderful happens and we're covering a story on them. And I've talked to them, unfortunately, in some tragic situations on their worst days. And I do believe that Arizonans trust me. I understand this state and I understand the people. And I'm able to go into a room, go into a town, and people know who I am and I can connect with them one-on-one. And it's such a wonderful thing. I'm so enjoying getting out and talking to the people of Arizona face to face.
And Kari, real quick, what would be your perspective as governor? If you were governor right now with the audit going on, how would you handle the audit and that relationship compared to how Doug Ducey's been handling it?
I think a lot of the politicians are treating it as if it's radioactive, and we have a lot of voters who feel that the election was not fair. There were a lot of irregularities, there were a lot of problems. The chain of command was not followed. I think we need to let this go to completion, and we need to see what the results are. I don't think it's fair, some of the bad mouthing the media has been doing. They're not covering it fairly at all. It's all spin. They're trying to twist this, and there are a lot of people in Arizona and around the country who think something happened during this election and they want to get to the bottom of it. And it's not just happening here in Arizona. We're starting to see other states take a closer look and do forensic audits of their election as well. And I think that's a good thing. We want to know that we have election integrity. We want to know when we vote that our vote counted, that our elections are free and fair. And I think everyone can agree we need to have voter ID. That's a real basic. We want to count every single vote that is legal. Bottom line, that's what we want.
Amen. Kari, God bless you in the work that you're doing. Everyone was inspired by your story when you left the media and explained why you did that. Good luck on your campaign and keep us posted.
I will. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you again.